AI Business Brief for March 2, 2026. Anthropic refused a Pentagon demand to use Claude for mass surveillance and autonomous weapons, targeting triggering a government threat, record-breaking user signups, and a Monday morning outage from the traffic surge. Meanwhile, analysts are calling it the SaaS-pocalypse. AI agents are cracking the per-seat SaaS pricing model and shifting the build vs buy equation for business software. Here's the full breakdown of today's top AI stories for your business. Next section, lead story. The Anthropic/Pentagon standoff made Claude the most downloaded app in America, the biggest AI story this week has nothing to do with a new model release. Anthropic refused a Defense Department demand for unrestricted access to Claude for mass surveillance and autonomous weapons targeting. President Trump responded by ordering all federal agencies to stop using Anthropic products. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth moved to designate Anthropic a supply chain risk, a label normally reserved for foreign adversaries. The public sided with Anthropic. Claude shot to #1 in the Apple App Store, overtaking ChatGPT. For the first time, daily signups hit all-time records. Free users grew more than 60% since January, and paid subscribers have more than doubled this year. That surge then caused a widespread Monday morning outage affecting Claude. AI and Claude Code logins, the API, continued working normally. OpenAI moved quickly to announce its own Pentagon deal, claiming similar safeguards around surveillance and autonomous weapons. Hundreds of tech workers, including employees from OpenAI, Slack, IBM, Salesforce Ventures, and Cursor, signed an open letter urging the DoD to withdraw its threat against Anthropic. Anthropic called the supply chain designation legally unsound and said it will challenge it in court. The formal designation requires a risk assessment and congressional notification before military contractors must cut ties. For business owners evaluating which AI vendor to trust with sensitive workflows, Anthropic drew a hard line on what it will and won't allow. OpenAI made a deal. Both say they have safeguards. Only one refused. That distinction matters if you care about how your AI vendor responds to government pressure. The reliability question is also real if you depend on Claude for daily operations. Monday's outage is a reminder to have a fallback. The API stayed up. The web interface did not. Sources: Claude outage. Claude hits #1 App Store. Tech workers push back how to switch from ChatGPT. Next section, tools and launches. Intuit and Anthropic. QuickBooks AI agents. Coming spring 2026, Intuit and Anthropic are building custom Claude-powered AI agents that plug directly into QuickBooks, TurboTax, and MailChimp. The goal is mid-market businesses, regional restaurant chains, construction subcontractors that want agents capable of synthesizing financial data, flagging margin variances, and keeping billing and compliance in sync, without needing engineering resources to build it. Rollout starts spring 2026. This is worth watching if you use QuickBooks, an AI that understands your chart of accounts and catches billing gaps without being asked, is a different tool than a generic chatbot pasted on top of your dashboard. Read more. 14. AI, an AI agency that takes over your customer support operation. 14. AI is a YC-backed startup that does not sell you software. It takes over your entire customer support function using its own AI stack. One client had a ticket backlog across social, SMS, email, and voice cleared within hours of handoff. The company monitors tickets across email, calls, TikTok, Facebook, Telegram, and WhatsApp 24/7. Backed by $3 M seed from Y Combinator, General Catalyst, and the founders of Dropbox, Slack, Replit, and Versal. YC partner Tom Blomfield estimates AI can handle 60% of support tasks automatically with the right integration, with humans covering the rest. If support is eating your time or your offshore team is not keeping up, this AI agency model paying for outcomes rather than seats is worth a conversation. Read more. Best MCP servers for production use. A practical guide from N8NN8N published a breakdown of the 20 best model context protocol servers for developers building AI agents. It covers databases, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, Qdrant for vector search, coding tools, and ops infrastructure. The key filter used: production-ready, actively maintained, and able to run as a persistent service rather than just inside a chat session. Docker-based servers for self-hosting and remote-accessible servers that automation tools can call over the network are both covered. If you're building agents that need to query your own data or trigger actions in external systems, this is a useful starting point for what actually works in production. Read more. Next section, Business Playbook. The SaaSpocalypse. What the software pricing shift means for your business. Two strong pieces from TechCrunch this week explain why software as a service stocks have been sliding and what's actually driving it. The short version: AI coding agents, Claude Code, OpenAI. Codex can replicate core SaaS features well enough that build vs buy is shifting toward build for many companies. Klarna ditched Salesforce CRM, customer relationship management, for a homegrown AI system in 2024. More companies are doing the same. Per seat pricing is also breaking down. If AI agents do the work, the number of human seats logging in becomes irrelevant, and a vendor's ability to charge per user collapses. What this means for you as a buyer: you have more negotiating leverage than you did 2 years ago. Your SaaS vendors know it. Do not auto-renew without asking for a better rate or more features at the same price. Watch for consumption-based pricing to replace per-seat models. That shift is already underway. What this means if you sell software or services: the investor consensus is now that generic horizontal tools that an AI agent can now do are not interesting. Depth in a specific workflow with proprietary data or relationships is what survives. That same logic applies to your positioning. If your differentiation is primarily process and automation rather than specialized knowledge, you need a clearer answer to why not just build this with an agent. Sources: SaaSpocalypse. What investors want now. Claude vs ChatGPT. For marketing, the Practical Breakdown. HubSpot published a marketer's direct comparison. Practical conclusion: use Claude for long-form content, brand voice consistency, and document review. Its 200K token context window lets you feed brand guidelines, source documents, and drafts simultaneously without the AI losing track of your instructions halfway through. Use ChatGPT for rapid ideation, short email copy, and social content where volume and speed matter more than polish. Most marketing teams running both outperform teams locked into one. If you write long-form content weekly, Claude's context handling alone is worth testing. Read more. Next section, Pricing and Access. Watch. Claude free tier grew 60% plus, and then went down. Here's what to know: Claude's free user base grew more than 60% since January, driven by the Pentagon dispute. Paid subscribers have doubled this year. That growth caused a Monday morning outage affecting Claude. AI login and Claude Code, the API stayed up, so developers using Claude programmatically were not affected. If you are a free Claude user, the Pro plan at $20/month includes priority access during high-traffic periods. The Max plan at $100/month adds higher usage limits and extended thinking mode. The outage was a session management issue, not a model reliability issue. Your trust in Claude's output quality should not change, but your planning for availability should. If you want to switch from ChatGPT to Claude, export your memory from ChatGPT. Settings, Personalization, Memory Manage, then open Claude and paste your preferences with the prompt: here's context I'd like you to remember about me. Update your memory. You need a paid Claude plan to enable memory. Do not paste raw chat logs. Ask Claude to review and summarize your key preferences from exported files instead. Full switching guide. Next section, Industry Moves. Supreme Court settles AI copyright. AI-generated art cannot be copyrighted. The U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear Stephen Thaler's appeal, letting stand the ruling that AI-generated art has no copyright protection. The Copyright Office rejected the original claim in 2019. Federal courts upheld it in 2023 and 2025. The settled rule: copyright requires human authorship. AI-generated content created without meaningful human creative input is not protectable. What this means for your business: content you publish with AI assistance needs a human creative contribution to be legally protectable. Pure AI-generated output images, text, or art produced without editorial selection, modification, or curation cannot be copyrighted. The practical fix is simple: document your creative process. Your editorial judgment, selection of what to include, modifications, and arrangement all constitute human authorship. Build that into your workflow and keep records. Read more. Andrew Ng, AGI is decades away. Agentic workflows are the real story, AI pioneer Andrew Ng told Inc. That human-level general intelligence is still decades out, pushing back on near-term AGI claims. His focus: agentic systems that automate specific workflows are what actually matter now. He also called the AI training layer the real bubble risk, not the application and tools layer where most business use happens. This tracks with what investors are saying. The durable businesses are being built around workflow ownership and proprietary data, not around wrapping a foundation model. Read more. NVIDIA bets $4 billion on photonics for AI data centers. NVIDIA is investing $2 billion each in Lumentum and Coherent, both building optical networking components for AI data centers. Optical fiber carries significantly higher bandwidth and uses less power than copper, critical as agentic AI systems that execute multiple parallel tasks demand far more data center throughput than chatbot-era infrastructure. AMD acquired a silicon photonics startup last year. DARPA put out related research calls last month. This is infrastructure layer investment that signals what the biggest players expect agentic AI workloads to require within 2-3 years. Read more. Next section, quick wins. Switch from ChatGPT to Claude in under 10 minutes. 1. Go to ChatGPT, Settings, Personalization, Memory, Manage. Copy the preferences stored there. 2. Open Claude, paid plan required for memory, and start a new chat. 3. Paste, here's important context I'd like you to remember about me, your preferences. Update your memory with this. 4. Confirm it worked. Ask, what do you remember about me? And check the output. Skip the full chat history export unless you need specific conversations. A clean summary of your preferences, frequent tasks, and communication style gets Claude up to speed faster than raw logs. Build a simple support triage layer before you buy a support tool before paying for Intercom, Zendesk, or an AI support platform. Test this. Set up a Zapier Zap that emails new customer inquiries to a dedicated inbox, then use a Claude or ChatGPT prompt to categorize and draft replies. System prompt: categorize this customer email as billing, technical, general inquiry, or urgent. Draft a 1-paragraph reply in a friendly, direct tone. Flag anything that requires personal attention. Run it for 2 weeks. You'll know exactly what volume you're dealing with and what a paid tool needs to solve before you commit to one. Next section, Outlook. The Anthropic/Pentagon story will keep developing. Watch for whether the formal supply chain risk designation moves through the required legal process, congressional notification plus risk assessment, and whether any major enterprise customers start hedging their Claude exposure in response. The SaaS pricing shift is accelerating if you are 60 to 90 days from an annual renewal on any major software contract. Start that conversation now while you have leverage. And the Supreme Court copyright ruling is now settled law. If you publish AI-assisted content regularly, audit your workflow to ensure human creative contributions are documented and defensible. That concludes today's AI Business Brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay smart, stay ahead.